The showcase of the best players in the NFL is coming up as we celebrate the latest edition of the Pro Bowl. The stars of the AFC and NFC are ready to shine. Next on EA Sports.
We are pleased, as always, to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. Coming up, it's the penultimate game of the NFL calendar, AFC versus NFC in the NFL Pro Bowl game between the AFC and the NFC. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and Charles, it's the Pro Bowl. You never really know what to expect, so I guess I'll ask you, what do you expect?
Well, in recent years, it has turned into an absolute offensive explosion, hasn't it? Games in the 50s are not out of line. What you're hoping is that some of these great defenders have a chance to adjust and react and maybe narrow that down a little bit. But I will say, this game is tilted heavily towards the offense's advantage.
Get ready to settle in for an entertaining four quarters. The AFC-NFC Pro Bowl underway from Las Vegas. Taken in at the 3. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21. So here comes the AFC for their opening drive. Leading this unit will be the big arm man out of Texas Tech. 10th pick in the 2017 draft, Patrick Mahomes.
And simply put, for many, he's the gold standard for quarterbacks in today's NFL because of his ability to create, find the open man, use all the different arm angles that he has. He's a complete package, and boy, his team loves to play around him.
On the ground, it's Jacobs to start the drive. And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up second down.
You've got to be impressed by the defensive front on rips like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
From the 22, here's 2nd and 8. Mahomes now to throw. He finds his man, and right away, he lost the football. And fortunately for him, he's able to get it back, but it will be a loss on the play.
All I can say about this play is that someone's living right. I mean, he's trying to gain yardage, trying to get upfield. Ball comes free. What's that panic that we've talked about oftentimes that you feel when you lose the ball?
You can sense it.
Oh, you can sense it, and somehow he got to it and was able to recover it for his squad.
So possession still theirs, but now they face a 3rd down. Now here's Mahomes. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Able to convert on 3rd and 14. A terrific play call.
I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons everywhere. And they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well. And that's what they just did on that play.
A first carry now for Nick Chubb. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber who runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
Let's go. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Play action. Now it's Mahomes. Going out wide, finds Chubb. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved, just as you said. They want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
Throwing on first down is Mahomes. Well, the NFC pressure a little too much as they get home for the sack. Jonathan Allen gets him for a loss of 8. What great push up front.
And we all know how talented this guy is who's calling the signals for him, but even the best in the game, they can struggle against a good, cohesive zone coverage. Can't find a gap in the secondary quick enough, and he ends up taking a sack.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. They will run out of the gun with Jacobs. And he's going to take this one up only to about the 44-yard line. Not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
Now they're coming up on play number 8 of this opening drive, but they're looking at a 3rd and long. To throw, it's Mahomes. That one caught by Tyreek Hill. 5 yards, and that means they come up short, as they're going to have to punt here on the opening drive.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go and make the tackle right away.
Here's Tommy Townsend on to punt. And that one hits a little too close to the goal line, and it continues into the end zone for a touchback. So out comes the NFC for their opening drive. They'll be led out by a Heisman runner-up during his college days. It's the versatile Jalen Hurts.
Tremendous production in college at 2 different universities, and this is a guy who was a finalist for the Heisman Trophy. Still much more of a runner than a thrower, but has plenty of arm and is capable of making the big throws downfield. And don't underestimate his ability to think the game. Remember, he's the son of a coach.
So the drive's going to start with Pollard. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28. Now, you often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
The tally on that first down run. Here's 2nd and 2. Here's a carry for Saquon Barkley and the Giants. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1.
And Brandon, every running back wants to use their speed in order to get out in front of things. Sometimes you just have to be patient, let blocks develop. On that play, that didn't happen.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. They go play action with Hurts. That's going to be caught along the sideline, and what a job of keeping his feet in bounds. They say that's a catch. Defense was expecting run, and they're dealt a pass of over 15 yards.
Normally on third down and short yardage, you're thinking of throwing to your tight end. It's just going to be a simple chain mover. But this time they let him roam down the field, and a nice dart picks up the first down and then some.
On first down, Hurts. Swinging this out for Pollard. It'll go as a gain of 4, and that's going to bring up second down.
That's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
From just shy of midfield, Hurts. He'll find Lamb. That's complete. And they'll get this down to around the 47-yard line.
Oh, I see you nodding your head along with me, partner, because it's pretty obvious what they were trying to do there on the drag route. With his speed, they're hoping he can turn the corner and maybe take this to the house. But that was excellent work defensively to make sure once he caught it, he wasn't going anywhere.
From the gun, it's Hurts. Open. Puts it on the carpet. It's out. And that's picked up by the AFC. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
So now the AFC offense here coming back out for their second drive. Defense got the better of them last series, forcing a punt. See if they make a few changes in the game plan here and try to get points out of this drive. 1st and 10.
What's the deal, y'all? Come on, let's go. Let's dominate this.
Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 44. They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. They'll get this up to the 47 and brought down there.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defense in front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Mahomes. Pass incomplete, but the flag in the backfield, and this might be a roughing call.
Roughing the passer, defense.
Well, that's not one you see very often on Aaron Donald because we know he's not trying to do anything intentional, but that time, just a little too late for the officials' liking.
So now a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 after roughing the passer. Now Mahomes. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's 2nd down.
Oh, he caught it. Just couldn't get the feet down. Couldn't get that toe tap sequence, right? I was ready to call him tippy toes if that one was completed.
They work again from the 38 on 2nd and 10. They go up the middle with Chubb. Yeah, he'll work free from one tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. Pretty good little two-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Throwing is Mahomes on 3rd. Dancing to his left. And he'll be brought down at about the 23-yard line.
He's a talented runner. That means he's always looking for bigger and bigger gains when he takes off. Certainly found some bonus yards there beyond the 1st down marker. And this early drive will continue with that extra jolt from his legs.
On first down, Mahomes. That one thrown away from the pocket. The officials kind of looking at each other, but they'll say there was a receiver in the area, so no penalty, just an incomplete pass.
No sense risking anything there on first down. Even though he's still in the pocket, he had a receiver out to his side, so just put that in a spot where the only people who can make a play on it are the trainers and the coaches. Well done.
And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. 18 yards that time to push him up, first and goal. I think you'd have to say Nick Chubb, pound for pound, one of the most powerful runners in the NFL. He proved it there.
Yeah, and this could be a sign of what this defense is in for, because you know all week long the coaches were preaching to the defense. You've got to be able to wrap up against a back like him, or he can make you pay. Technique, technique, technique.
And the next-gen stats shows us the tale of how much yardage he was able to pick up after the initial contact. 5 yards from the end zone, first and goal. They'll run with Chubb. And he's going to get him about 3 yards closer. He's down to about the 2.
They went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Now, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
From the 2 now, second and goal. Chubb trying to get to the goal line, but he's going to be stopped just short at the 1. Call it a gain of a yard as they get a little bit closer here. It's third and goal.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
Big play coming here. It's third and goal. And Mahomes is going to keep it. And he will take this in for an AFC touchdown. Patrick Mahomes keeping it himself from a yard out. And the AFC has taken the early lead. So the AFC, they won the Pro Bowl the last couple of seasons and off to another good start here.
Yeah, how about that? The first touchdown of this game, how many more do we expect to see?
Hopefully a lot. I want offense in this ball game.
I don't think there's any question about it. Rarely do you get defensive struggles in the Pro Bowl.
Justin Tucker for the extra point. And he's got it to make it 7-0 AFC. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. And it was all capped by Patrick Mahomes using his legs to get in the end zone. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down officially at the 21. So now we'll get our second look in this game at the NFC offense. They had to fumble on the last drive, wound up leading to the opening touchdown. Now they'll try again here, 1st and 10. Throwing is Hurts. To the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. What I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
From the 25 on 2nd down, Hurts. 7 yards there and a first down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Hurts sets up to throw it. That's complete to Justin Jefferson. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. 18 yards the gain for number 18.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
They'll throw on 1st down with Hurts. Pass to Tony Pollard out of the backfield. He's got room at the 30. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop it. That one good for 37 yards. And I think that's a pretty good illustration of why they try to get the football into his hands out of the backfield. That was something else.
And we talk so much from a defensive perspective about scheming and finding ways to take away the run. That means the offense has to devise different ways to get the ball in the hands of their guy out of the backfield. Find open space, let him run, and big things can happen, and they did right there.
And if we turn to the next-gen stats, the final clocking, well, it's ridiculous. 22.5 miles an hour. Hurts throw into the hands of McLaurin. And he is out of bounds, getting it down to the 10. Short completion, just 4 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. On 2nd down, here's Barkley, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Seventh play of the drive forthcoming on 3rd and 8. Here's Hurts to throw. And he is in. Touchdown NFC. Jalen Hurts. A 13-yard touchdown run. And the NFC just an extra point away from tying up this game. Well, the defensive coverage was good, so good he just decided to make a play of his own, and it worked out.
Yeah, you often wonder if they think to themselves, was the coverage too good to allow him to run the football? I think you'd rather take your chances with him doing exactly that, and he beat him on that play all the way to the end zone.
Myers connects on the PAT, and we are tied at 7. So that a 7-play, 80-yard drive. And it's capped off by a 13-yard touchdown run. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. No run back here for Duvernay. Touchback out to the 25. The AFC about ready to take over on offense. The offense coming back out here. Plenty of energy, ready to roll. Looking to just add to what they have been doing after scoring a touchdown, Charles, their last time out.
And that's a great feeling to have on the sideline, partner, knowing you just won the battle against the opposing defense. And since they came off the field, I'll guarantee you all they want to do is get back out there because they know they have the upper hand on that defense right now.
Mahomes in the AFC now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He gets this to Davante Adams. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that. That's all about doing the dirty work right there defensively. Second and short yardage, that's all about plugging those gaps, not giving a running back a crease to run through, and has a nice job to hold them just a couple and force a third down.
They'll come to the line needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Mahomes looking to throw on 3rd and 2. He is going to find Hill here. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps it running. Gotta say, I was a little surprised to see him, Charles, come out in the shotgun on 3rd and less than a yard.
Yeah, but the way the NFL is nowadays, we hardly ever see anyone really run for it on short yardage. So they're going to throw the football more times than not. That was a nice, easy rhythm throw right there, and they pick up the first down.
Here's Jacobs on 1st and 10. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard after the 43.
Oh, there's plenty of traffic waiting for him up the middle. But give him credit, he tried barreling through anyway. They're fortunate to get a yard out of that one.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. On play action, it's Mahomes. And he'll get the... And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And it's scooped up by the NFC. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line. In our meetings this week, they kind of tipped us off. They wanted to play ultra-aggressive, forcing fumbles. They just did that right there.
They took it to the next level, didn't they? You're exactly right, because everyone talks about being aggressive on defense and tackling well. But they were talking about getting after the football, making sure the ball was stripped out each and every time they lined up someone to get them on the ground.
And the adjustment working early. The NFC about ready to set up shop offensively. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due, because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
And because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football. A gain of 8 there on the play. And that'll bring up a 2nd down in just a couple.
Nothing fancy on 1st down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage. Sets
him up nicely for 2nd down, staying ahead of schedule. And they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
Play action. Here's Hurts. To the sideline, he's got the catch, and he kept the feet in bounds. Well done. So much for the run on 3rd and 1. Instead, it's a big chunk in the pass game. 1st down.
We often hear the phrase sure-handed tight ends, and he certainly fits into that category. Plus, he's got a quarterback who knows to look his way when they need a big pickup. And on this play, he finds it for the 1st down.
7-7, our score after one. The NFC with the football here to begin the second quarter. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. A first down carry for Barkley. And some room to run now. And a good-looking run there as he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18-yard line. Another good gain. That's now 35 yards combined on those last two plays. I don't know what this says about me, but I love successful runs up the middle when the blocking is so well executed like that.
And it doesn't matter whether it's zone blocking, whether it's a power scheme. When you have a blocker on a defender, and the running back can read it, find the proper hole, and just go, it's sometimes a thing of beauty.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
And the red zone precision is the watchword. If the throw's a little too early, too late, maybe off a little bit, it's going to be a good chance that any attempt is going to be a contested one, and that one falls incomplete.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. On the jet sweep, here comes Jefferson. Nice little juke. And he's brought down. Now they'll have it 1st and goal following that gain of 17.
Part of why that play works is because the defense has to freeze because they don't know whether he's going to hand it off or keep it himself. And this time, how about that sleight of hand there? Gives it to his wideout. And that indecision defensively, boy, it hurt him in a big way.
Barkley will take this one in. Touchdown, NFC. A strong, determined run there, Charles, to get in for 6 points.
This is why it's such a team game, isn't it? And I know it sounds really generic and it sounds almost trite, but the blocks were made up front, offensive line, collective victory at the line of scrimmage and downfield. And how about the finish to the run all the way into the end zone?
Now Myers for the extra point. And he's got it. It's now a 14-7 ball game. So that lines up a 7-play drive all told. And it's capped off by a touchdown run from Saquon Barkley. After the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20. The AFC offense making their way back out. That 7-0 lead of theirs short-lived as they've now given up 2 straight touchdowns to fall behind by 7.
Yeah, but no cause for discouragement here. Yeah, they've fallen behind, but haven't they proven that they can go down and score? So what was the formula that got them down there the first time? Get back to something close to that, and maybe they get this game tied up.
Mahomes in the AFC now with a 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. That ball caught. It's Mark Andrews, the tight end. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. 15 yards is the pickup there, and the drive starting very nicely. First down.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. And Chubb will try the middle here. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 43 yards on the ground for him so far.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
A good run, got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. Mahomes now to throw. And his throw is incomplete.
They certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
The AFC thus far on 3rd down. They've been near perfect, 4 for 5 to this point. This time it's 3rd and 3. Now here's Mahomes. Looking for his man on the out route, and he's got Diggs. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. The drive stays alive, a 3rd down gain of 8.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
Two first downs have him up near midfield now on 1st and 10. Throwing now is Mahomes. Another target for Stephon Diggs, and he brings it in. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line. They go with Chubb on 2nd down. They'll get only a couple down to the 44.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sit through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker. 7th play of the drive now as they come up on a 3rd and 3. Here's Mahomes to throw. And Diggs has it. And they're going to get this down to about the 37.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
And they were right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Mahomes going to throw. It's caught here by Adams. And he's going to get this down near the 25.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago, because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
Mahomes now on 1st down. He finds his man, complete. That's Jacobs. And brought down, but not before they get it inside the 10 to the 7. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
Just picking up yardage in bunches here these last few plays. They have moved right down the field, and just like that, they're going to be set up with a 1st and goal.
On 1st down, they'll run with Chubb. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. That sends them 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
Oftentimes when you see a running back get bunched up in the backfield, it's usually because the defensive tackle is eating up blockers for others to make the play. Not in this case.
It's 2nd and goal, back to the 8-yard line now. From the gun, it's Mahomes. They swing that out wide to Jacobs. They'll get this halfway home from the 8 to the 4 on a gain of 4.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it can turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
Here's Mahomes, 3rd and goal. Flush to his right. And he's just going to throw this one out of bounds here. Nowhere to go with it, incomplete. So it's been a long drive. They've held the ball for quite a while. Now what do you do here?
Well, to me, at this stage, after this drive, this close to the goal line, 3 points would be a letdown. I'm going for it here.
Now Justin Tucker's out to try the field goal from the right hash, and this one just a chipping. Tucker's kick is good, and they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10.
Well, no surprise there. Extremely reliable during the regular season. Bailed his team out time and again. Knocks another one through, this time in the Pro Bowl.
Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away. Taking it about the 1. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. Here's the NFC offense set to take over again. That last drive, it was a good mix. Run, pass, defense on their toes.
And what really helps out in a big way is when you're doing the run-pass mix and everything's working, that means that they're guessing wrong every time on defense. They think you're going to pass when you run and vice versa. I would continue that, and when they finally draw a bead on you, maybe you mix it up a little bit, a little play action and throw the ball.
And will they maintain that balance? Time to find out. They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley. And they're going to stop it right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Now a shotgun handoff to Pollard. Gets past one man. And he'll manage only a couple here up to the 25.
He's definitely tough to get down. We just saw it right there. But how about what we did see? Pursuit, wrap up, and then the big finish with the tackle.
They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. Hurts. Toward the sideline, it's complete. An athletic grab, but still well short of the first. 3 yards, all they can muster there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
Tress Way on 4th down is sent out to punt. Back deep is Tyreek Hill. And taken right on the 30. It's a 39-yard punt, 8 on the return, and the AFC will take over 1st and 10. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it, forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. And Andrews lost the football. And it's scooped up by the NFC. And he's got Rome. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line. There are two words that we hear coaches say all of the time. One starts with a B, one starts with an S, ball security.
And they preach it. They have it up in meeting rooms, right? You see the signs. They talk about it all the time. But still, when you got defenders out there who are preaching, hey, we're going to take the ball away from you, no matter what position you play, you've got to take care of the rock.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. It's Barkley on the counter. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
We talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
Now a second down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. Well, good field position to start the drive, but under the gun now here on 3rd and 8.
Hurts sets up to throw it. He'll find Lamb. That's complete.
And they will rally and stop him short of the first down. They get him to the ground at the 26. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And it'll be 4th down.
I thought they might take a shot down the field, but instead they ran a little drag route there. I think they were hoping he could catch it and run away from the defender. But a really good job keeping the play in front of them, and they force a 4th down.
Out is Myers for the Seahawk field goal. This a 43-yard attempt. Myers' kick is good. And that moves him up by a touchdown now at 17-10.
So the fumble recovery had him set up in ideal field position, but they can muster only 3 points out of it.
Yeah, when you're able to force turnovers, especially when it results in field position like they had, you really want to make it hurt. Here, they take the field goal. That's definitely not what they were hoping for.
Myers now converted on the field goal try. Now he's on to kick it away.
Devin Duvernay now returning from the end zone. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17.
The AFC offensive unit getting set to take over. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still.
Trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield and punch in the end zone without turning it over.
And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards. Good push up front and that run in between the tackles.
Let's play the leverage game here. Offensive line just got lower than the defensive front, and they were able to get their pads on them and move them backwards and create space for their running back to roam.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Looking to throw is Mahomes. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far at 2nd down.
You've always been very good about checking my math. Am I correct? That's the first time that it's been incomplete when they've thrown it to him?
Yes, he had caught every other ball coming his way.
So they feel like they've got something really good going there, and they're going to continue to go there until the defense makes an adjustment and takes it away.
Well, they finally made an adjustment there. We'll see if they can build on that stop. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
And that doesn't have to gain big yardage to be an impactful play, because if you get those pass rushers second-guessing themselves, that they might get hit with a screen, maybe you can wind up slowing them down just a step. And if you do that, that's a win for that play.
The AFC thus far on 3rd down. They've hit on 6 of their 8 tries. Very good. Here it's 3rd and 3. Gets this one to Hill. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd.
As you know, so many things in the passing game are based on yardage. Sometimes it's just based on timing. And that's what we saw right there on that play. 3rd and 3. Just get the ball right to the receiver.
Is the hitch route. Tell us, what is the hitch route?
Yeah, just take really one step, like you're driving off the line of scrimmage, get the defensive back on his heels, get the ball out to the receiver, and he does the rest.
They go play fake. Mahomes. He hits Adams, complete. And he's tackled at the 38, but they doubled their yardage. The play started at the 19, and they gained 19.
Good, strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. Up the middle, it's Chubb. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
They suspected it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. To throw, it's Mahomes. That one complete to Hill. They'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
They're trying to keep the drive going. This will be play number 8. It's 3rd and 2. They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. And he's going to run into a brick wall right in the middle of the field, and I don't think he got there. Call it no gain that time, and they're going to be left looking up at a 4th and 1. Nice job there defensively to clamp down, because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
Now Justin Tucker's out to try the field goal. Made his first. This now from 46 yards away. Tucker's kick is good. And that will cut this lead back down to 4 now. It's 17-13. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away.
From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. Here now the NFC to take over on offense.
And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Right up off the bat. It's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards. When he runs, he seems to do a nice job of knowing when to be patient and find the hole, and then when the hole is there, he goes quickly.
You're exactly right. He knows how to just take off, but you know what else? Brings a little thump with him, doesn't he?
He does.
He packs the boom at the end of the run and finishes it going forward. That's what you want to see out of your backs.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Here's Hurts to throw. Well, the pressure gets home, and the AFC comes up with a sack. They overload him that time with a safety blitz, and he winds up being dropped for a loss of 7.
How about that? One of the so-called little guys putting the pressure on. That was a strong safety. When I was in college, we often called that a lightning blitz.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. They'll try the right side here. Barkley. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss. And now it's 3rd down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after 1st and 2nd down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Again, it's Barkley. Now the AFC going to use the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. Now the former Oklahoma Sooner Tress Way on to punt the football. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And it'll be a short field ahead as the AFC takes over, 1st and 10. Back out is the AFC offense. And after the field goal last time, let's see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Trying to get it to Chase, but it's intercepted. Buda Baker with a pick. Before we came up to the booth, last thing he said as we were walking off the field, want to play mistake-free football. Well, that just went out the window there with the pick.
And do you remember what you said to me when we were walking up to the booth after he said that? You're like, oh, fatal last words. Every time we hear that, things tend to fall apart a little bit, and that's what we saw there. Didn't get enough on that throw, and it turned into an interception.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. Throwing is Hurts. He completes this one to Terry McLaurin. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. The end result, 21 yards. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. They'll go with Pollard here on 1st down. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. Tackle made there by the safety, Derwin James.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
Still 9 remaining on second down.
They'll set up a throw. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. Now the NFC going to take a timeout there second as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45.
And, partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's 3rd down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the first down, but he does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
Here's Tressway now as he's on to punt for the NFC. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. The offense for the AFC set to go now. And with only 9 seconds remaining, and not much time, we'll see how they play this. And this will leave them a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. So we have come upon halftime of this Pro Bowl with the NFC on top of the AFC. As we send you to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach?
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcome in everyone to our downtown Orlando studios in this EA Sports Halftime Report. First, though, let's get a check on the next-gen stats from that first half for the AFC. And they've had all sorts of success thus far tonight throwing the football, as they're on pace to throw for 300-plus yards if things continue the way they've been going. Meanwhile, for the NFC, they weren't quite as successful throwing the ball as their counterparts were, but they still were able to move the ball reasonably well in that first half.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. The NFC offense heads out to begin this third quarter. Second half begins with a run from Barkley. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustment, what they talked about, maybe it's just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But it looks like they're ready to go.
On 2nd and 11 now. Hurts. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect them to have more completions to him in this game.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. They're going to look to throw. And that is incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
Here's Tressway now, as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. They call it 38 yards on the punt, no return. And they will take over 1st and 10. The AFC offense now heading out for their first drive of the 2nd half. And their defense did its job by forcing the punt to start things out. And now, Charles, can the offense get in gear?
I think, partner, you can sense them saying, okay, the first half was theirs, but now let's get the momentum back on our side. We forced a punt. Now let's go downfield and score. If we do that, we'll be set up well for this 2nd half.
They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. Nowhere to go that time. He maybe got a yard up to the 40.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Now Mahomes. He's got his man. It's Andrews.
And he's going to be taken down. Plus, there's a penalty flag in the backfield. They may get 15 more on top of this. Well, Charles, sometimes we talk about the lengths officials sometimes go to protect star quarterbacks, but that was tough to argue against.
Yeah, and I'm sure that everyone's going to say, hey, we're going to administer the penalty the same way for all quarterbacks. But when it's a star back there, even more so they're going to be diligent about throwing the flag.
He'll be hit down at the 33, 5 yards on the play.
Simple drag route here, lined up out left and trying to work his way back across the field. You probably saw me twitch there, partner, because I think he wanted the ball a little bit sooner. By the time he looked it in, defender was right on him.
They go up the middle with Chubb. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. 54 yards rushing for him in the ball game now on 14 carries.
We don't talk about it very often, but sometimes there's a dip in intensity when you start the 2nd half, which can manifest itself in some sloppy tackling. And how about right there? He ran right through that weak tackle attempt.
On 1st down, Mahomes. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
We're going to give out a little applause on that play. It has to go to the defense. More good work by them. They've taken away the passing lanes all game long, and you can see the frustration that it's causing because he just about threw that one into the 1st row.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Shotgun snap to Mahomes.
Trying to get it to Chase, but it's intercepted. Picked up by Trayvon Diggs.
And they finally put it into this return, but not before he's all the way down to the 37.
Well, this had trouble written all over from the start. He's got 2 extra defensive backs in the game he's got to deal with. They're in a dime set. So everywhere he's looking, he's seeing a different color jersey. And sure enough, this one winds up being intercepted.
And now this offense comes back out onto the field. And they'll have good field position here following the interception and a chance to build on their lead as they start with a 1st and 10.
of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They run straight ahead here with Pollard. Takes this to the 32, maybe the 31. Defensively rallying to the ball after the nice move. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. On 2nd down and 4. Hurts. Complete. Jefferson the target. And he'll be taken down at about the 22-yard line.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage. So timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
On 1st down, Hurts. And this one right back into the hands of Jefferson. And they are able to stop him, but he does take it all the way to the 2. They go right back to him for 20 and a first.
Remember, this drive started off following the turnover, and they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
They'll try and run for it with Barkley. And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2.
Good work there, holding them out on 1st down. And this is going to be a battle down here on the goal line. Can they hold their ground for 2? Maybe even 3 more plays.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. Barkley again. And this time he's not going anywhere. In fact, he'll lose yardage back to the 3. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
That's a really alert defense there because they saw the heavy look come in from the offense, countered it with extra linebackers who brought a little bit of speed and heft, and able to really make a big-time play for their defense.
From back at the 3 now, this is 3rd and goal. From the gun, it's Hurts. And he is going to go down. Back at the 11-yard line. A nightmare on 3rd and goal. He's sacked, and multiple players broke through the line to get him. Well, we saw him score on the ground earlier in the ball game. This time, the defense says not so fast.
Yeah, that's good scouting and good awareness, isn't it? Because you always have to be wary of him keeping it himself, especially in this part of the field. Because if he doesn't like what he sees, you know he'll take off and try and go for it himself.
On now is the kicker, Jason Myers, for the field goal try from 28 yards out. Myers' kick is good, and that'll make this a 7-point game. So the turnover leads to points as they add 3 there.
Yeah, what a sequence there, and a nice one for them. They force the interception, put together a little drive, and then come away with 3 points. Nothing to it, partner. Just do it.
Myers now converted on the field goal try. Now he's on to kick it away.
Duvernay going to sit on this in the end zone, so it'll come out to the 25. The AFC offense making their way back out. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
They begin this drive with Chubb, and just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. His carries tonight, they're getting up there, so maybe one of those every now and then is understandable.
I would agree with that. Understandable every now and then. Sometimes you come back and you fake it to him and go play action. But other times you say, okay, they got him on that one. We'll come back to him in another carry.
And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down.
Well, that's a defensive coordinator's got to be happy with that result. They took away all options downfield and forced the incompletion.
They had the incomplete pass on 2nd down. Now they need a big play here. 3rd and 10. Mahomes now to throw. He is going to find Hill here. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Give him 22 there on the 3rd down conversion.
That's a nice catch there. Remember, he had the fumble earlier. No way he was giving up the ball in that situation. Secured it tight to his body and picks up the 1st down.
A give running right is Chubb. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
How about the job there on the outside? Shed the wide receiver and was able to make the tackle on the perimeter.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. Working from the gun, Mahomes. Over the middle, complete. It's Hill. And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of, until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. A give. This is Chubb. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
The previous run good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. Chubb on the counter. And this time he's not going anywhere. They'll get him down right at the line of scrimmage. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. Okay, 2nd and 1, you get nothing. What now on 3rd and 1?
Sorry about that. I was so excited I jumped in on you. This is almost like practice to me. Line it up and do it again. You didn't get it right the first time. Just get right back on the ball and go. It doesn't matter that they know you're coming.
Oh, Chubb fumbled it. And they will take over at the 29-yard line.
This drive didn't end well, but if they can keep stringing these together, they'll like what they're doing. That was an 8-play drive before it ended in a fumble. So the takeaway's got to be doing what we want to do and doing it well. Just got to take care of the ball at the end.
The NFC about ready to set up shop offensively.
And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure.
After review of the play, ruling on the field is reversed.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. Now they'll throw with Mahomes. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's second down.
It's been clear in this matchup which side has been the more physical one. It's been this defense. And here's another example on that last play.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Mahomes. He's got it complete to Diggs, right side.
And they're going to get this down to about the 17-yard line here.
To win any route, you've got to break down the defender, and that's exactly what happened here on this really nicely executed curl route.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10.
Operating from the red zone now, Mahomes.
Going out wide, finds Chubb.
And he's got this inside the 10 to the 9 before he's out of bounds. So they'll get 8 out of that completion, and it'll be 2nd in a couple.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play.
That's a jet sweep. This is Adams.
And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1.
Defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, and one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
I see an extra defensive back on the field. Little surprise here on 3rd and 1. Mahomes going to throw.
There's Stephon Diggs for the catch on the slant.
Touchdown! Stephon Diggs from 8 yards out.
And the AFC is an extra point away from tying this game up.
Well, it was 3rd and 1. I was expecting run, so much for that. They pass it, they score it.
That had the feel of the head coach telling the offensive coordinator, you've got 4 downs here. We're going to go for it on 4th down unless there's a disaster on 3rd. Go ahead and take a shot if you want to. And he gratefully accepted the opportunity and did exactly that. If they didn't get it there, that had the feel they would come back and try it on 4th down.
Tucker with the extra point, and that will tie things at 20 all. For what's been a tight ball game, we're all even at 20 now as the kick's away.
This fielded right at the goal line. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25.
The NFC offense heading back onto the field. And
And their lead has evaporated in this third quarter. It's tied once more as they begin with a 1st and 10. So the drive's going to start with Pollard. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
I think sometimes when you're trying to get after the quarterback, maybe it's better to be lucky than great. Because I think on that one, he's just trying to get upfield and rush the passer. Instead, the tackle for the loss landed right in his lap.
And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. He gets them a little over half of what they needed. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 5.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete.
Good, clean play. No flags coming out of the pocket of the officials. Turns into an incompletion, and that should get them off the field with a 3 and out.
Here's Tressway now, as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. A 40-yard punt, no return. And out will come the offense as they take over. The AFC set to take over on offense. And as the offense begins another drive here, pretty simple, Charles. They want to carbon copy what happened the last time out when they ended their drive in the end zone.
You're right about that, partner. Sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? Just score again, but we know it's not that simple because we don't just make adjustments at halftime if you're a good football team. You spend that time on the sideline, you study what's on the notes and the tablets, and you make those adjustments, prevent a repeat of the last drive. Series to series, the best teams, that's how they get it done.
And we'll find out here soon enough whether those adjustments are enough defensively.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
Now this one has been fun so far, as the Pro Bowl usually is. A lot of relaxed faces out there. 2nd and 10. Looking deep for Adams. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
There is something to a game plan when trying to keep a defense honest. With a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep. Try to throw some air under it and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they were unsuccessful.
An incomplete pass on 2nd down. That muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. They will run the draw with Jacobs. And this play going to be stopped in its tracks at the 32, and obviously well short of the 1st down. 4 yards on the pickup there, but it's going to take him to 4th down. The AFC punt team out there now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. This will be fielded at the 17. Call it a 48-yard punt. Give them 9, though, on the return. And the NFC will take over 1st and 10. Here now the NFC to take over on offense. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play.
Running again with Barkley on second down.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Now, right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains.
Only able to get back a yard for his efforts, and that leads us to 4th down.
Partner just a second earlier, and they might have had him because they certainly thought they were going to close in and drop him behind the line of scrimmage, but he had just enough time to dodge the pressure, and he ends up getting yardage before being stopped.
Here's Tressway now, as he'll come on to kick for a 6th time tonight. So possession goes over here on the punt.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The AFC about ready to take over on offense. And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Mahomes in the AFC now with a 1st and 10 at their own 27. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And he'll get this into the hands of Hill, complete. And they work this well upfield across the 45. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Never make the mistake of the slot receivers, especially the little guys, if we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Here's Mahomes to throw. He's going to float this one deep right side.
And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in.
On every offensive coordinator, every play caller sheet, they have about 5 or 6 plays per game that they call shot plays or big plays, and you don't get many opportunities to dial them up, and they just did, and they drop it with a great chance to make a big play. That's going to hurt.
Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. And he is going to lose yardage here. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
Well, sometimes despite the best planning, the defense actually has a plan as well, and they blanketed everyone on that play. They were able to close it down and spill him for a loss.
We're backed up here. Tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first.
Again, they'll throw with Mahomes. And it's complete to Adams.
And he's going to be pushed out of bounds inside the 10-yard line.
They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Oftentimes now, offenses aren't nearly as precise as days gone by. They just tell receivers, find an open patch of grass and let the quarterback find you. And that's exactly what they did on that play. First with the pass through the air, nice chunk of yardage there, and then additional pickup with his legs after the catch.
The chain gang hustling to catch up. Here's 1st and goal from just inside the 10. Here's Jacobs. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. It'll be a gain of 5 there as they move closer. It's 2nd and goal.
It's largely been the air attack that's gotten them down here, but now is where you start to lean on that running game. That's a good pickup there on 1st and goal.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. Looking to throw is Mahomes. And that is caught for an AFC touchdown. Mahomes finding
Tyreek Hill. And the AFC has broken this tie. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and they will take a 7-point lead. 1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. It's the AFC with the football and the lead as we begin quarter number 4. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The offense for the NFC back out there. And it's great to see the stars all out in one place, but in terms of football, what's really great to see is a very entertaining Pro Bowl as we are tied in the 4th quarter.
And how many of these guys thought going into this game, after a pretty easy week heading into it, that the pressure would ratchet up now and someone has to make a play, which means someone will have a play made against them and not have to live with that for the rest of the year.
They begin with a run by Barkley. Stopped at the 24-yard line after a gain of 5.
Nice satisfying run on first down for the offense, picking up 5, which means defensively, the thought process is entirely different. You don't want to panic, but at the same time, you're saying to each other, we've got to tighten this down. We can't give up gains like that.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Now they'll run the option to the short side left. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. He has enough for the first down on the keeper, a gain of 6. Well, he is certainly dangerous when he spots a lane, and he keeps it himself there. Worked out well.
And how about the moving parts on a play like this? You know you have to practice it over and over because it's almost like a ballet that has to be choreographed. But how about once he made the decision to go, he committed to it and went. Let's face it. Most teams are going to defend the running back much more than the quarterback on that type of a play.
A first down carry for Barkley. And room to run as he's up past the 35-yard line. 41 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
But no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Hurts sets up to throw it. Flushed out right. And he'll take this beyond the line of scrimmage as he slides to a hole. All that gets him is just a yard, and now it's 3rd down.
Well, it certainly appears to me that the defensive guys are starting to look a little bit tired while he still has some fresh legs. Not the biggest gain we've seen on a scramble, but still some positive yardage on a play that initially looked like a sure win for the defense.
Hurts. Able to haul it in is Kittle. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. Give him 6 yards, and they do convert on 3rd.
That was a route run, not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Throwing is Hurts. And his throw here is incomplete.
Well, they've been back on their heels a little bit here on this drive, but a chance to exhale just a little bit there with incompletion on first down. Now they have to gear up, try and get 2 more stops, and escape this drive.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Here's Hurts to throw. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a hole. It's just a gain of a couple there on the scramble, and now it's third down.
I certainly like what he did right there because he smartly wanted to avoid forcing anything downfield because nothing appeared to be open. Nice harmless slide there to avoid the big hit, and he gets a small gain on the play.
On third down, it's Pollard. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. This defense not budging. Back-to-back carries of just 2 yards.
There's no question that coming into this game, this defense is pretty vocal about its desire to take this running back out of his game. And all that pregame wolfing has turned into results.
Here's Tressway now as he's on to punt for the NFC. And a fair catch called for and made just outside the 15-yard line. Just 34 yards on the punt there, no return. Tyreek Hill making his way back out towards the huddle. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this, but it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
On 1st and 10, here's Mahomes. He's got his man. It's Andrews. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
Six yards left on second down. Now Mahomes. He'll get this underneath to Jacobs. It'll be a gain of 5, and it'll leave him with third and a full yard to go.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Mahomes to throw on 3rd and 1. Well, he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds, so a big call there that brings up 4th. That close on 3rd down, I think everybody probably expecting a run. Instead, they go to the air on 3rd and short yardage.
I realize this is a passing league, and they're liable to throw the ball on any down and distance, but that short, I do question the call. Run the football and pick it up.
On is the punter Townsend as he gets this one away. A good kick, 49 yards, just 3 on the return. Here's the NFC offense set to take over again. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He'd love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
Play action. Here's Hurts. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there at 2nd down.
Brandon, once that one broke down, there were only so many options left for him to take. Fortunately, only first down, so he smartly got the yardage he could get and didn't worry about trying to turn it into a bigger play and end up taking a bigger loss. Here, they hope they can regroup and get something different going here on 2nd down.
On 2nd down, it's Pollard. And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7 as that one officially a loss of 1.
When a draw works, it can be a thing of beauty. But when it doesn't, oh, it can be ugly. And in this case, loss of yardage ugly.
So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Throwing from the gun, it's Hurts. Got an open man finding Jefferson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That
catch puts him over 70 yards receiving now as he's got a first down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
They'll throw on first down with Hurts. Eluding the pressure right. Finding a safety valve here. That's complete. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and it'll be second down.
Now that's the type of play that gives you a chance to win. Nothing forced downfield where you don't have a guy open. Swing it out to the back, maybe even check it down, whatever you want to call it. Gain of 5. You're just trying to get 4 on first down. They're ahead of the chains now.
To throw again on second down. Hurts. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. In for the sack, Myles Garrett.
Now, how about that play right there? Pardon, remember I told you about the home run hitter theory that someone told me years ago?
What's that?
Meaning a guy who hits home runs in the major leagues, go back and trace what he did all the way growing up, probably hit home runs at every level. That's just who he is. Well, this guy sacked people all during the regular season. Why wouldn't he do the same thing here at the Pro Bowl?
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. They'll set up to throw. And he'll be brought down on the other side of midfield at the 43.
If they get a game-changing score on this drive, it's going to be because of plays like that. That run was pure heart. Took it himself, found a way to reset the downs, and advance the ball.
The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. Off the play fake. Here's Hurts. And he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. Give him 10 that time, escaping the danger, running with it, and picking up a first down.
Well, he's proven real effective running the football. No one open, don't force it. Just get what you can, and that's what he's done very well in this game.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They go play action with Hurts. Steps away. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
Trey Hendrickson showing off his pass rush repertoire that time.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback has not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. Another try after the first down sack. Hurts. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. It'll be a loss of 2, maybe 3 on the play. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. This offense 2 for 2 on 3rd downs on this drive. They're in for a tough test here, though. 3rd and long.
From the gun, it's Hurts. pressure, and the AFC gets to him for the sack. Myles Garrett, his second sack of the night.
Oh, man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, stupid question. What's the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour. That's when everything goes haywire late at night.
Here's Tressway now as he's on to punt for the NFC. And this will carry out of bounds. Where are they going to spot it now? At about the 18-yard line, it looks like. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. Mahomes in the AFC now with a 1st and 10 at their own 18. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Looking deep for Adams. And a penalty flag comes in as that one winds up incomplete, but the contact is going to move the ball well downfield. So they take a decent shot, CD, and the flag comes out for pass interference.
Yeah, a little DPI, as they like to call it in the business, right? And the farther you get downfield, the more frenetic things get, and the more calm and control you have to remain as a defender. That was a little bit of a slip there, and the penalty will go against him.
On 1st down, Mahomes. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Adams. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. On 2nd down, Jacobs. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bring up the key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means they might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key 3rd down. Highlight that word. Put it in bold. Here we go. That'll put him at 96 yards receiving now for the game, and he's got a 1st down as well. Big hook up there. Forced to throw it on 3rd down. The connection's going to keep the drive alive and also keep the clock moving.
Yeah, and from a defensive perspective, didn't get a sack, didn't knock the ball free, didn't break up the pass. The clock keeps running on you. You're in a dire situation now.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. To throw, it's Mahomes. He goes right back to Adams. That's complete. And he'll be marked down at about the 26-yard line. Now a 2nd down and 6. Working from the gun, Mahomes. Open man is Chase, complete. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. That his first catch so far. They've held him under wraps, but he's got a 1st down there.
And these guys certainly are not hiding what their intention is. They're absolutely showing it. They're definitely not going to sit on this lead here in the 4th quarter.
So 1st and goal, 6 points here would go a long way toward wrapping this one up. Mahomes now to throw. Hammering for the goal line. He loses the football. And it's scooped up by the NFC. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, that takeaway, partner, right there, that's a combination of coaching, execution, and absolute belief. Because a lot of guys will look at the scoreboard and go, this thing's pretty well done. But they still thought to themselves, if we could make a play, we give our teammates a chance to win it. And that's exactly what they did.
On first down, Hurts. And this one caught along the sideline, but they say already out of bounds. And the throw didn't give him a chance to turn it upfield, and that brings up second down.
His back has been a dependable safety valve all game, so he went back to him when his first read was covered. Just unable to connect, so the play results in no gain.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. On the draw, this is Barkley. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he's stopped behind the line of scrimmage. That second down play nets a -4.
That was a terrific play, causing a loss. As a middle linebacker, simple. You can either fill holes or you can attack them, as he did there.
Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. They'll go to Barkley again. And he showed a nice little juke, but then the window quickly closed. Call it a gain of 5. 4th down now.
They got off the field on 3rd down. Excellent job, an excellent defensive series. We always talk about adjustments and usually only at halftime. But the best teams adjust series to series. And on that series, they adjusted so well that they got the job done in fine style.
Here's Tressway now as he's on to punt for the NFC. Now a fair catch taken just across midfield, maybe by a yard or two. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the AFC will take over 1st and 10. They go play action. Now Mahomes. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a 1st down. Well done. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
And time to give some credit to the big fellas, the offensive line here, because you've got to have good protection on crossing routes, because you've got to give your receiver time to work all the way across the field. That time, able to scan the field, spot his receiver moving left to right, and make a good, accurate throw. Thank you, guys.
Mahomes now on 1st down. And there's a quick throw caught by Andrews. And they're going to get this down inside the 15. Charles, he's now over 400 yards passing in this one. It feels like he has a zillion completions. Just a very memorable effort from a guy that we thought could be in line for a big game, and he has exceeded our expectation.
That he has, and I'm not really surprised at all, because when you look at this offensive unit, they are loaded across the board. And, of course, the guy throwing them, he's a big-time player himself. They brought it from start to finish and really helped get the better of the opposing secondary.
4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So the AFC with the football as we welcome you back. Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. And he will take this in for an AFC touchdown. Nick Chubb, 14 yards, as his guys are able to extend their lead.
What a huge touchdown that was, obviously, here in the late stages of the fourth quarter as they try to put this one away.
And, Brandon, when they watch the film after this week, they'll be very proud of every rep if they close this game out. Just a few snaps remaining. They can't relax just yet.
Tucker now for the extra point. And the lead is up to 14. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And Nick Chubb, the one to finish it off, as he does so with a touchdown run. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The situation for him offensively as follows. Down by 2 touchdowns. And time, a huge factor. How will this thing pan out? We'll watch as they come up on first down. On 1st and 10, it's Hurts. And that nearly their first pick of the game, but it falls down to the ground incomplete.
When you're leading in the final quarter, your radar has to be up for any potential deep shots. And probably not the last one they're going to see in this game, not as long as they hold this lead.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. Now back to throw. That's complete to Lamb. And he gets it here to right around the 24 before he's out of bounds. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and, of course, foot dragging.
A little tapestry, if you will.
Ooh, I like it.
Hurts sets up to throw it. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete. Certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down.
That means it's just one last chance left, and this has to be a first down or a touchdown, or this game's over.
They'll try and throw for it with Hurts. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the AFC is going to get the football back in great field position. So with that, we can just about close the book on this one, Charles.
Yeah, what's the old expression about slim and none? Well, Slim just left town on that
They're down to none?
Yes, exactly right.
On first down, they'll run with Chubb. And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line. A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal. They'll run with Chubb. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Now the NFC going to take a timeout there 2nd as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal.
And Mahomes is going to keep it.
And he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll get it with still 1:20 left to go in the game. A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, 3rd and goal. Up the middle, it's Chubb. Calling no gain on the play, so no help there. And now 4th and goal.
He's having a big game running the football, but that will hurt the yards per carry a little bit.
Yeah, but the average he's got so far, that's the type of average he wants to take with him in contract negotiations, doesn't he?
Now Justin Tucker's out to try the field goal. This to make it a 3-score game late. Tucker's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So with that, you figure this game's pretty much out of reach at this point.
Yeah, it's going to take a heck of a comeback to come from 3 scores down, but don't change that channel. Don't go away. Miracles can happen, and you want to be here in case it does.
You're a company man.
Aren't I, though?
Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away.
And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25.
The NFC about ready to set up shop offensively.
Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, it's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnel. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
Throwing is Hurts. That is caught by Lamb.
And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. That one goes for 24 yards.
Well, those are the types of plays they probably wish they had made more of in the first 3 quarters. And this deficit going to be tough to overcome here in the 4th. But a nice first down and a pickup on that throw.
Yeah, and this is where as coaches, you're looking for effort and execution even though the scoreboard is going against you. You want to find out who's going to fight, who's going to scrap, who's going to keep their heads up and continue to play. Even with such a big lead late, the effort hasn't lapsed one bit. If the offense wants to score some points in this one, they're going to have to earn it. These guys are not giving up anything.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. One final shot. They'll look to throw. And this is dropped in incomplete. Well, there's a metaphor for how this one is gone as time is run out on this ball game. So, Charles, final thoughts on this AFC victory?
Bottom line, nobody appeared to be seriously hurt. That's the first thing we look for in this game. Well played, a lot of fun, a lot of excitement. I think that everyone's going to go home pretty happy, especially the AFC since they won the game.